Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today we are finishing up the import or premium import case, which is video 4 of 4 of case 2, and I'll put this in the playlist. But we will start out by thanking the channel members. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all more than you know. And I want to thank anybody who just comes in here to watch my knife, my ADC content. I really appreciate you taking the time. The first knife in this layout is going to be the quiet carry ion or the large quiet carry ion. It is in M390, so it's an M390 blade. It's got skiffs in it. I've got the pivot a little bit tight right now. Perfectly centered. Fantastic gentleman's knife. It's got really nice micro milling on the titanium handles. It's got the little 4 signature quiet carry dots. And then it has really no milling, almost like I would almost call it like a brush finish on the back. And then you've got a stone-washed blade. Flipper activated because the handle completely disappears, right? It's a just wonderful gentleman's carry knife, in my opinion. Let me grab some paper, some papier. It is a great EDC knife. I did not see, the original Ion is a smaller knife, but this large Ion, what's the Ion? I think it's the Ion. This large was on sale during Black Friday, right around there, for just a ridiculous price. It wasn't a quiet carry that I was just dying to have, but when I saw it and the price, I wanted to check it out. And I'm really glad I did, because it's a knife that has really grown on me. Done very, very well. It's therapeutically slicey. Just a great EDC blade. And for me, more of a kind of office geared or gentleman's type folder, maybe a going out folder, because it doesn't really look like a knife, right? Just a neutral platform. Really well done. It does have skiffs in it. Just a fine knife. So starting out, we are looking at the quiet carry large IQ. I was calling it the Ion. It's a large IQ. Duh. So this is the quiet carry large IQ. Not the Ion, wherever that came from, is just a deep recess in my brain. I apologize. Quiet carry IQ. And moving on, we come to another quiet carry, which has been one of the biggest surprises that I've bought lately. And this is the quiet carry OG Drift. OG for just the original Drift. It's kind of one of the ones that's touted as truly rust resistant. It's in Vanex super clean steel. Titanium handle with nice micro milling on the show side. You've got your 4 little quiet carry logo, for lack of a better purpose. Nice smooth back. It is a bronze titanium. It is absolutely comfortable in the hand. This knife fits my hand wonderfully. My buddy A to Z EDC, it's too small for him. He did not like it for that reason. It's on washers, and the detent and the action of this knife is superior for a washer knife. It's not a drop shut knife. You can shake it shut, but you don't have any movement in that blade. You've got that really nice thin Vanex blade stock. You've got one of the sliciest knives. Let me grab some pip here. That was just me hitting the choil. So the quiet carry Drift has really blown me away. I enjoy this knife so much. It is a great carry knife because it's thin. It's got a very low profile in the pocket. It's got the wire clip, which I love because it goes in and out of pocket so well. You've got that smooth side so it doesn't grab anything when it goes in. Wonderful forward finger choil. Just a well executed, well done knife. The quiet carry Drift it is definitely one of my faves, and we will move on from there. And we will come to another fantastic quiet carry. This is the Quiet Carry 9. You'll notice this has a little bit of carbon fiber in the handle there, and you've got the 4 Quiet Carry dots. A little bit of milling there on the front show side, milling on the clip side, and micro milling, if you can see it there, all around that lock bar, which is done very well. This knife is 20 CV. It's on bearings. It is an absolute banger. It is got smuts all over it. It is slicey as the day is long. Very tall, flat ground blade. Again, one of those that I consider to be a therapeutic slicer. Let's get some of that smuts off there. But the action on this knife is next level. Whether you reverse flick it, whether you thumb flick it. Still see my smutsy finger mark. Done exceptionally well. Probably one of the best quiet carries that I've experienced, right? I've got the Waypoint. We saw that in an earlier video. I've got the Drift. I've got the IQ, large IQ, and then this 9 is just that good. I mean, it's just literally, you can't fail it. I can sit there and I can push just barely on those studs, and it's just hammers open. So the Quiet Carry 9 is one of my, what I consider premium import, because I don't know where these are made. I know they're not made in the US, but I don't think Quiet Carry says. But this is the 9. It is a banger. And moving on, we come to the Renegade Provisions God of Mischief, which is a Riot OEM'd top flipper that is, I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. It's one of my top knives. It's got a thunderous detent. It's got a internal liner lock or bolster lock, or internal frame lock or bolster lock. This one has dark micarta scales, dark titanium handle, dark M390 blade. It is a hollow ground blade that is a laser beam. Has a tip that's a laser beam. Has to die for action. Has a really sharp deployment hole. So you'll notice, which is kind of gross, but you'll see that white powder there. That's actually where it catches part of my fingernail every time I flip it. I don't feel that. The top flipper is cash money. It's just a wonderful knife. Milled pocket clip. Again, Riot OEM'd. I love this variation because it just looks so murdered out to me. God of Mischief by Renegade Provisions. Fantastic knife. And we will move on from there. So moving on, we come to my first Todd Knife and Tool Company collection knife. They have 3 holes as one of their signatures, and all their knives to me look kind of steampunky. They are S35VN. This is the Bestech Shodan, right? It's a Todd Knife and Tool collaboration. Very slicey, tall, flat ground blade, DLC coated. The Shodan is a traditional rear flipper. So if you don't like the middle finger flick, you can just use the flipper tab. I'm a middle finger flick guy, and this knife has, for a full-size knife, because this is a big knife, this knife is going to come in, whoops, well over the PM2, probably about 1/4 of an inch larger than the PM2, and a full-size knife, right? So you would only want to grip it right here. You've got this jimping, you've got that swedge that goes down the blade, and then you've got that deployment hole. You've got Bestech is the only branding on it. You've got TKT, Tide Knife and Tool on the pivot. And then again, the 3 design holes. Nice backspacer, lanyard hole. Just an excellent, excellent knife. And this is the Bestech Shodan. So this is going to look exactly the same, but it's not, because this is the Bestech Tide Knife and Tool Exploit. This is actually a little brother to the Shodan. It is a little smaller knife, a little bit more of an EDC knife. It doesn't have the rear flipper tab. It instead has a front flipper. So it's a front flipper knife or a middle finger flick knife. Still has a wonderful finger choil, great jimping. This is going to be smaller than our PM2. Whoops. And right about maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller than PM2. So still a full-size knife. It's going to be bigger than our bug out. But this is the Bestech Exploit. And I think it's just a fantastic knife. I'm a huge fan of the Bestechs, of their knives. This guy is equally as laser beamy and pokey, splinter diggy type of tip that you could go in and really do some pokey stabby with, heaven forbid. But the front flipper is perfectly designed. You guys that watch the channel know I hate front flippers. However, some of them, when they're done right, they're enjoyable, right? So this one's not bad at all. I still middle finger flick it because I can flick it from that fuller, or I can get that hole and get a good flick. And that is the Bestech Tide Knife and Tool Exploit. So moving on, I kind of went nuts on this one because this is only a really pokey stabby, even though it's kind of a hyper slicey knife, but it's one of those crazy knives that when you look at it, you're going to see kind of why. But this is the Bestech Tide Knife and Tool Malware. Got your 3 Tide Knife and Tool holes, TKT on the pivot. This is a traditional flipper, full back spacer, perfectly centered. The Exploit's also S35VN. All of these are going to be S35VN. And this is just a wicked Wharncliffe, right? This guy is a splinter digger. You could sew with it. It's so pokey, but it's also slicey. But I mean, pokey, slicey, stabby. Has a great choil, a nice narrow handle. It feels really comfortable. Again, it's not a knife that is practical per se, unless you're just looking for a knife to use to make holes in leather or something like that, or make holes in something. But it's a great slicer, flat ground blade. I think it's a wicked design. I think when you look at all of them together, we got one Tide Knife and Tool, and then we'll kind of look at all of them. But this is the Bestech Malware. Again, traditional flipper. All of these have fantastic pocket clips. They all kind of have, to me, that steampunk kind of looking stylistic, right? I don't know what else to call it. You got a floating back spacer on most of these that are kind of whack. But yeah, love this knife. Picked it up because it was so wicked looking. And this was the final Tide Knife and Tool that I bought in my Tide Knife and Tool collection. Little grouping. Because the other one, the first one I got that turned me on to Tide Knife and Tool is by another OEM. This is the Roxi 3. This knife is fan-freaking-tastic. It is a medium size, which I would say is a small medium size knife with kind of this cleaver blade. It's a front flipper that's done exceptionally well. We killed it. We killed the clip. I think the Wii version, to me, is better than either of the Bestechs, but Wii is, Wii's Wii. Super slicey. Therapeutically slicey. I want to say it's S35, but it might be 20 CV. I'll have to check. These are still available. And I'll try to leave some links if I can find them. Usually some Amazon links because that's the easiest place to find them. Those are retailers that are selling them. Might leave some other links there. But the Roxi 3 is an absolute banger. It's the smallest of my Tide knife and tools, but it's also my favorite. And it was the first one that I picked up. Then I got actually the Exploit, not that one. I picked up the Exploit, which is the front flipper, first, after the Roxi. Then I real quickly got the Shodan because I was so enamored with this design, and then picked up the Malware. But you can tell they're kind of all different sizes, but they're all really cool knives. And like I say, a lot of it, we know Bestech can make really good knives. I know we can make really good knives. I've experienced them, but the Roxi 3 is just a banger, and there's a lot of design that gets the credit there on all these knives. But we've got the Roxi 3. Moving on, we're in the corner, which is the final corner, guys. We have got the Fornix. The Fornix was a limited run of, I want to say, 210 knives in 20 CV with this killer shape. They were only 199 bucks. I say only because usually Wii's carry a little bit higher price tag depending on what they are. But this guy is really pokey, really slicey. It has a great harpoon blade, kind of a spear point type blade. This very piercy. Simple 2 pieces of titanium, T8 hardware, traditional flipper. And you've got the deployment slot, which is, for me, just a win. And then you've got this nice forward choil. You've got that poon if you want to do detail cuts, anything like that. Just a really, really nice package. I don't think these sold out. They're sold out now. I think you can only find them on the secondary. But the Fornix is a cool knife. The Wiis that I've kept in my collection, I think, are all pretty cool knives. So this is the Vision R. This is a knife that I regretted missing at Blade Show 2023 when I bought the next knife that I'm going to show you, because I didn't even notice it was there. But this is the Vision R. It uses the Snex lock. It's in 20 CV in titanium. The Snex lock is spring actuated. The Wii's version, you can actually take the lock out so you can see that spring back there. So when I go to press that down, you see this notch in the blade right here. So that notch actually is filled by the tip of that Snex lock. So you can use the Snex lock to flip it out. You can use the middle finger flick. You can thumb flick it because it doesn't have any lock bar that you're going to be impinging on, or encroaching on, I guess I should say, not impinging. A lot of people hate this clip, and I think it's just because they didn't use it or didn't understand it. A lot of people might have had a bad experience with it. I find it actually perfect, especially in khakis. Basically, when you put the clip in your pocket, just like you would a normal knife, the knife automatically kind of folds to the side and it lays perfectly flat. I don't know how it's done, but to me it's a perfect design. On the Civivi version, they added the clip to the side because everybody was calling for it. But I really like the way that this one was done. I really like the clip the way it is. It doesn't bother me a bit. I think it's a winner. I think the Vision R is a great knife. I could highly recommend it to everybody who wanted one. And if you didn't want to spend $250, I would definitely recommend the Vision FG. But this is a great knife. Slicey as it can be. Just a winner. The Vision R. And then the last knife, nope, we got 2 more. I'm sorry. So this is the knife I bought at Blade Show 2022 when I was snoozing on the Vision R. I didn't realize what it was, or I probably would have bought it. I ended up getting it. This knife, 20 CV, super slicey. It's a Fair and Forge collaboration. They did the original Malice. The Mini Malice is a button lock, and this is when I knew that we was onto something with their button locks. This lock is actually one of the smoothest button locks in my collection. I've got a Max Ace Babylon that we might have already seen. I think we did. And it's really smooth too, but I think a lot of it is because of the weight of the blade. It's a little weighty. Sorry about that slicing, guys. This is a therapeutic slicer too. But this guy is dialed in. So falls shut. You've got a snappy, almost feels like a Malibu, little small flipper tab. And then you've also got that fuller that you can very easily flick because it's got, as I fail it twice, it's actually got sharp edges there, which are not too sharp, not sharp like the GOM, but sharp enough to catch your finger, right? So if you like or are used to doing a middle finger flick, this knife allows you to do that. It's a small or medium sized knife, kind of nimble sized. I think if we compared this to the Benchmade Bug Out, we see that they're kind of close. It's a little bit smaller than the Bug Out, but not by much. I would consider it a similar size knife. I'm a big fan. I love the Mini Malice button lock. This one is in kind of the bronzed out tie and the Stonewash 20 CV blade. It's a winner. I'm a fan. We now have the last knife of this particular set of knives, which is case number 4, the imports. So sorry that my blades are smutsy, guys, but this is the Nefaris. They're smutsy because I use them. The Nefaris has probably the best detent of any I've ever handled. I think this is an original design, designed by it's super smooth, very nice milling in this titanium. You've got a really nice flipper tab. You've got 2 grips that are both fantastic. I only use the choke up grip. This is a numbered series too. At least it looks like it on mine, 161 of 186 or something. Drop shut action. Thunderous detent. I'm going to go up here and see if you can hear it when I deploy it. Let it drop. Deploy it. Let it drop. Just a banger, guys. The Nefaris 20 CV. Perfectly centered. Super, super slicey. Just a laser beam. And this is going to be a full-size knife. Even though it carries like a much smaller knife because it's thin, it's got that milled clip. But this guy is going to come in, I think, a little bit longer than our PM2. No, it's going to be real close. Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch smaller than the PM2, but right in the same ballpark, right? So guys, that is the end of case number 2. So what we will do is we will have some regular videos, some knife videos, some different videos, give you guys a break, and then we will jump into case number 3, which is I've got made in USA knives kind of scattered around, but I guess you'd call it my more premium made in the USA knives, knives that I really, really dig. So we'll go through that case, but I'm going to show you real quickly again these Tide Knife and Tool Bestechs. But I'm going to keep them out of the frame. We'll keep the Roxi there. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to keep there. We're going to keep the skinnier one there because we'll be able to get in more knives, which is our Malware. That thing's so pokey. Scary pokey. And then we've got our God of Mischief. Our Quiet Carry 9. Our Quiet Carry Drift, and our Quiet Carry Large IQ. Guys, I do appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch the content. I do hope you come back. I do hope, if you haven't had a chance yet and you're so inclined, you'd hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon. Really really help me out. But most importantly, please, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. And always, please, choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.